Good afternoon and welcome. My name's Craig Updegrove on behalf of the First Presbyterian Church. Wanted to welcome you here today, and we're delighted to be able to offer this concert series to you. It's a beautiful setting, great acoustics, and enjoying this world-class jazz artistry, and hopefully we are able to uplift your spirit and nourish your soul this afternoon. There's references in your program to our Facebook page. It's a good way to stay in touch with what's going on. There's also a link in there to a YouTube playlist of many videos that we've compiled over the last 11 years of doing these programs. Our format this afternoon is for 2 sets of music, and in the middle of that, there'll be a short message today by Dr. Allen Estes. He's a church member. He's also has a Ph.D. in civil engineering, teaches at Cal Poly. I met Al here at the church, I don't know, 15, 16, 17 years ago, something like that, and we're just kind of getting to know each other, and he says, and by the way, you know, I've been in your house. And I said, what? Well, when was that? He said, well, I think it was 1961. And turns out it was in Falls Church, Virginia, where we both grew up. He was a guest at my younger brother's birthday party when they were 5 or 6 years old. So it's been nice meeting him again in adult life. Wanted to give a big thank you. We have some great volunteers that make these programs all possible. Steve Brown, Terry Cueto, Ray and Nancy McKelvey, Pam Rodewald, Tim and Margot Smith, Mike Suddarth, Susan Updegrove, Kathy Wolf, and today we also have on our sound and video board the dynamic duo of Lloyd and Henry Esola. So please give them a round of applause. After the music today, please join us over in our fellowship hall for a reception. You'll get there by just going out the back and around the side. We'll have some wine and cheese and crackers and cookies and fruit, good conversation. It'll be an opportunity to talk with each other and also with the members of the band. We would appreciate it if you could let them get over to the reception, though, before you start talking to them, and that'll allow them to get things settled up here before going over there. Thank you, as always, for your donations. These programs are totally funded by your donations in those donation boxes that you saw. There's no set amount. Anything you put in there goes directly and only to this program. You can write a check to First Presbyterian Church if you'd like. So the boxes will be there as you leave as well. So thank you for supporting these concerts. Your program also will tell you what's happening for the rest of the year. We have our next up excellent program, October 19th, return visit by Bruce Foreman, guitar, and Ron McCarley on sax. If you're not familiar with Bruce Foreman, he is one of the best jazz guitarists that you will ever hear. He's performed over 25 times at the Monterey Jazz Festival, played with Freddie Hubbard, Bobby Hutcherson, Richie Cole, many others, and he'll be in just a duo conversation here with Ron McCarley, who's an outstanding saxophonist, flutist, the director of jazz studies at Cuesta College. So make note of that, October 19th. And then in December, on December 14th, we will have our annual Christmas Jazz Vespers. That program will be at 7 p.m. That is a ticketed event also. You'll get some more information about that. But that will feature the Dave Becker Quintet with Talia Ortega on vocals and flute, Marshall Otwell, Dylan Johnson, Daryl Voss. So that's a blockbuster program there. As I said, there will be advanced ticketing. It will sell out, so you'll be wanting to get your tickets for that. All proceeds go to a charity for that concert. Over the last several years that we've been doing the Christmas Jazz Vespers, I think we've raised on the order of about $30,000 for different charities. So we hope you can be a part of that and contribute to that. Today, we're really fortunate to have an outstanding quartet here, Dawn Lambeth, led by Dawn Lambeth, doing piano and vocals. You will love her beautiful, silky voice and excellent piano playing. Her husband, Marc Caparone, is a well-known trumpet player, plays in festivals around the country and throughout the world. So that's, we're really fortunate to have them both here in this quartet. The interesting thing about this quartet that you'll maybe already noticed, there's no drums. And there's actually a saying that it takes a really great drummer to be better than no drummer. So with apologies to the several excellent drummers that we've had here, but it does, if you don't have a drummer, it does take a good rhythm section, and we have really the best with Dylan Johnson on bass and Ryan Garcia on guitar. So please welcome the Dawn Lambeth Quartet.
All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We leave home expecting to find a bluebird, hoping every cloud will be silver lined. But we all return. As we live, we learn that we left our happiness behind. The bird with feathers of blue is waiting for you. Why, back in your own backyard, you'll find your castle in Spain through your window pane. Why, back in your own backyard, oh, you can go to the east, go to the west, but someday you'll come weary at heart, back where you started from. You'll find your happiness lies right under your very own eyes. Why, back in your own backyard. The bird with feathers of blue is waiting for you. Why, back in your own backyard, you'll find your castle in Spain through your window pane. Why, back in your own backyard. Oh, you can go to the east, go to the west, but someday you'll come weary at heart back where you started from. You'll find your happiness lies right under your very nose, back in your own backyard. Well, thank you so much. We are just thrilled to be spending our afternoon here with you. This is such a wonderful, just a lovely resource, a community-driven, music program. Just kind of highlights everything that's so great about our local community and all that, how people support the arts here, and there is so much music here. And when Craig asked me if we had like I think he described it like a lightly sprinkled theme on our afternoon of music, I thought it would be fun to sort of do songs that that kind of acknowledged where we live. Marc and I've been kind of a lot of places this summer. I just got back from a long family trip back east and then the Midwest, and he was in Europe and Colorado and stuff, and it's nice to be home. We have such a nice home. So so that was a great little tune. Ruth Edding had a hit with that from about 1933, I think it was, called Back in Your Own Backyard. And here we are. So I think we'll do some nature songs, some songs about just taking stock of what we have and can appreciate, and then some of the songs we like to play. So it's funny, when I'm performing around town, sometimes people are really surprised that I have a husband who plays music, because they've never heard him perform. And if you hadn't seen us maybe 15 years ago or so, then you might not know that he performs, because he's had quite a career leaving town the last decade or so. So we're very happy to have this kind of rare opportunity to get to play together, and I'm going to let him introduce the next song and tell you about it.
Yeah, and welcome everybody. I'm very glad to see you all out there, and as Dawn has mentioned, we're kind of honoring the Central Coast with our theme today, and I'm about as local as you can get. I was born over a few miles away in Sierra Vista Hospital and spent my whole life living here in San Luis County, and so we decided for our second tune, we're going to do a tune that was almost a theme song, not quite, but very close to a theme song for my great idol, who is Louis Armstrong. And this tune was written about 1932, I think, and it's called That's My Home.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Marc Caparone. Yes. We're gonna feature our little small but mighty rhythm section on this on this next tune. This is from 1927. This is called "The Best Things in Life Are Free." Yeah. All right. Right on it. 1, 2, 1, 2. To everyone, why the best things in life are free. The stars belong to everyone, well they shine for you and me. The flowers in spring, the robins that sing, the sunbeams that shine, well they're gonna be yours, they're gonna be mine, and love can come to everyone. Well, the best things in life are free. you. Thank you so much. Ryan Garcia on guitar over there. And Dylan Johnson on bass. Well, we're going to take it over to the coast now for the next song and feature Marc on this one.
All right. So I spent the first 7 years when I was a little kid living in Shell Beach. My parents lived back there back in the 1970s, and one of the things that I remember when we started talking about this area, I remember my childhood there was the sunsets that you get down in Shell Beach and Pismo Beach, and my grandfather was an amateur photographer, so we have albums of pictures of sunsets from Pismo Beach and Shell Beach and Avila. So I thought it would be appropriate to do this tune. Also recorded by another one of my heroes, trumpet player from New Orleans named Henry Red Allen back in the 1930s. This tune is called Red Sails in the Sunset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That was Red Sails in the Sunset. As you might have noticed, we're playing kind of an older style of jazz, and that's kind of what Dawn and I specialize in doing. And I've always been interested in. It's hard to just describe it exactly, but I like to say pre-bebop jazz. Bebop is kind of beyond me, I think, mentally. But I love melody, and I love what we call the Great American Songbook, and of course Dawn is, I think, a great exponent of that.
Thank you.
And we'd like to do a tune now that it's actually been played by more modern jazz groups and has been recorded, but it was originally written as an operetta melody, and I won't get too much into it, but if people know about operetta out there, have you heard of operetta? Operetta was very popular in the United States and in Europe in the late 19th century, early 20th century. And forgive me for my oversimplification, but it's you could kind of say it's a cross between opera, grand opera, and Tin Pan Alley or Broadway music. Kind of right in the middle there is where it lies. And some of the greatest melodies of all time, I think, were written by operetta composers. And we're going to do a tune written by Sigmund Romberg. And he wrote a number of great tunes. When I Grow Too Old to Dream is another one of his well-known tunes. And he wrote the tune that we're about to play for an operetta written in 1928. It was called New Moon. And nobody really remembers the show, but they remember this tune. And it was written originally as a tango, but we're not going to play it that way. It's called Softly as in a Morning Sunrise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to count it? Marc Caparone. Marc Caparone on Softly as a Morning Sunrise. Did you see how he did that? He went from sunsets to sunrise.
Very clever.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Allen Estes, and I am your Jazz Vespers halftime show. When Craig gets really desperate and nobody else returns his calls, he allows me to offer the homily or meditation or interlude or whatever we're calling it these days. Craig doesn't care what I talk about as long as I keep it under 8 minutes so we can get back to this fine music. I changed my intended topic when I heard the theme suggested by our musicians is the nature and beauty of the Central Coast. I decided to join the celebration of our little slice of paradise. Peggy and I moved here in 2007. People often ask me where I'm from, and I ask them, how much time do you have? I was an Air Force brat and then spent 28 years in the Army, and so I've lived lots of places, haven't put down many roots, and found I can live almost anywhere. Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri probably tested that challenge to the limits, but my short answer to the question was the Denver-Boulder area of Colorado, where we chose to attend graduate school and where Peggy and I assumed we would retire. Over our last 2 decades, however, we have decided that the Central Coast is our home and we do not intend to leave, so let me explain why. While at CU Boulder, I took a course in plates and shells. It should have been called Plates and Philosophy. We never got to shells as the professor regaled us with sage life advice such as smile while you still have teeth, bad decisions make great stories, and one should live where other people vacation. I agree. U.S. News and World Report recently named Cambria, Pismo Beach, and Morro Bay as 3 of the 21 most charming small towns in California. This ideal Tuscan climate certainly adds to the appeal. Winter days warm to the 60s, the summer day can get into the 90s, but the temperature mercifully drops once the sun goes down. There is an 8-month period where we can schedule an outdoor event and not need an inclement weather plan. Ice and snow are nowhere in the forecast. There is probably no better place on the planet to own a convertible. We are located near the beach in the heart of wine country. I can ride my bike through the vineyards, often sharing the road with a speeding monster truck towing a horse trailer or a boat. Fruit trees are common in most yards. The town is governed by liberals, and liberals preserve open space. The quality and variety of the nice hikes have only improved in the last 20 years as the Pismo Preserve has been added, the Frum Creek Trail has opened up, Reservoir Canyon is now a spectacular 6.2-mile loop, and the Bob Jones Trail continues to expand despite major obstacles. The average age of the San Luis population is 47, although nobody is actually 47. The population is this bimodal distribution of college students and wealthy retirees. We have fantastic restaurants made possible by the symbiotic relationship between the retirees who can afford to patronize the restaurants and the students who wait the tables. The two groups have bonded but prefer not to live on the same street, especially on St. Patrick's Day. The main industries in town are a college, a prison, and a nuclear power plant. Not much symbiosis there, but they all serve a useful purpose. The combination of Cuesta College and Cal Poly, which has provided my livelihood since we arrived, helps make this a highly educated town. There's an eclectic choice of entertainment with varieties of music available at the concerts on the plaza, wineries, and even churches, as we see today. The Cal Poly Performance Arts Center offers a decent but pricey repertoire of shows. But if you dig a little deeper, the Clark Center, the Slow Little Theater, and even the Melodrama are available. And don't forget my favorite, the PCPA, Pacific Conservatory Theater, where you can see the same actors doing Shakespeare, the latest musical, or an intense drama. This is an area that respects and honors individual rights. There are no arcane liquor laws, and cannabis has been legalized. I've not tried it, but it's nice to know that I could. A woman can choose what she does with her own body. Marginalized groups can love who they want and be who they are. And California is only one of 3 states where one can control how they die. I often think we have more in common with our Canadian neighbors than with our own southern states. As a separate nation, we would have the world's 4th largest economy. Not that I would ever suggest or support any such arrangement, despite our current polarization. My reasons for living here would not be complete without including this wonderful church. Peggy and I have been members since we arrived, and First Presbyterian is currently celebrating its 150th anniversary. We have a passionate and energetic pastor who consistently delivers challenging and intellectually compelling sermons. The congregation is accepting and tolerant, recognizing that times change. Questioning and doubt are part of the process, and that we don't have all the right answers. If you've not worshiped with us, I invite you to do so. But no place is perfect, and to be intellectually honest, I need to acknowledge that housing, health care, a high cost of living, and no ski slopes are serious challenges. I, for one, have traded my skis for a surfboard, and when I want to go skiing, we have a new airport that is growing and taking us to lots of new places. The 5 a.m. flight to Denver, while excruciatingly early, is the best way to get to the East Coast before dark. I'm sure my list is incomplete, and I hope that you all can identify my omissions over a glass of wine after the concert, which is about to continue. Thank you, Dawn, Mark, Ryan, and Dylan for this wonderful music today and for choosing the Central Coast as your theme. Today, when someone asks me where I'm from, the answer is San Luis Obispo, California.
Well, on that note, let's continue along with a great little Irving Berlin tune. Oops. All okay on stage? Yes. Well, yes, here we go with Blue Skies. Yeah, when Dylan's ready. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I don't believe in fretting or grieving. Why mess around with strife? I never was cut out to step or to strut out. Give me the simple life. Some find it pleasant dining on Well, in keeping with our theme, Give Me the Simple Life by Rube Bloom, 1941. So, want to do Sometimes I'm Happy? Sometimes I'm Happy? Yeah, we'll do that. Okay.
All right. Oh, good. This is on. Okay. Well, one of the things I really love besides playing the trumpet is jazz history. And I spend a lot of time reading jazz history books. And, of course, there's so much available nowadays. And so I want to tell you a quick jazz history story that involves the Central Coast. And how many people out there know of Benny Goodman? Have we heard of Benny? Oh, look at that. Okay, that's great. Yeah, I would say a lot of you do. Now imagine a world where not very many people had heard of Benny Goodman. And that was what America was like in the beginning of August, 90 years ago, the beginning of August 1935. The Benny Goodman Orchestra was kind of newly formed, and Benny was doing a tour of the United States. It was his first tour under his name. And his band wasn't doing very well. He had kind of a series of gigs. I mean, it's almost like a movie where he'd show up and the band would play and everybody would say, "What is this? We don't want to hear this music, and we want to hear waltzes." And so Benny was kind of dispirited, and he went on a very long tour all the way across the country, came over to Oakland, had a little bit of success there. A few people knew who he was. And then 90 years, almost 90 years ago, on August 20th, 1935, Benny played here on the Central Coast in Pismo Beach. And there was I don't know if anybody remembers this, but there was a place called the Pismo Pavilion, which was a dance hall in which all the traveling bands would come through and play. And so Benny played there the night of the 20th of August, 1935, and he totally bombed. Everybody hated him. And so he was just about ready to throw in the towel and say, "I'm going back to New York. I can make a lot more money as a studio musician than I can leading some swing band." And the next day, they drove to Los Angeles to a place called the Palomar Ballroom. And then when they got there, there was a huge line of cars waiting to come in and park. And they said, "Well, I wonder, they must be somebody famous here that they're going to see." But it turned out they were all there to see Benny Goodman. And so he was a big hit in Los Angeles. And that was considered one of the great moments in his career where he took off and became the Benny Goodman that we all know now. But on the 20th of August in 1935 in Pismo Beach, he was not very well regarded. And so I'm very pleased that we have such a supportive jazz community here now. It's really, it's great. When I grew up, there wasn't a lot of jazz here on the Central Coast. My father was one of the founders of the Basin Street Regulars down in Pismo Beach, and that was about it for a lot of jazz for many, many years in the 70s and 80s and 90s. And now we have kind of a healthy jazz community here. So thank you. I'm glad that you're all a part of it. So we're going to play a tune that was a hit. Benny went on to have a hit that same year, 1935, with this tune, and it's called "Sometimes I'm Happy."
we have time for just one more song, and I don't want to keep you from your wine and cheese and cookies and stuff. So thank you so much for spending this last hour listening to us. We had such a wonderful time playing for you. Once again, Dylan Johnson on bass. Ryan Garcia on guitar. My husband, Marc Caparone, on cornet.
Dawn Lambeth on the piano.
Thank you. Well, we're going to send you on your way, and we'll see you over there with a great little tune. This was written by Dorothy Fields and Jimmy McHugh. I am especially partial to Ivy Anderson's recording that she did with the Duke Ellington Band. Here we go with On the Sunny Side of the Street. All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet on the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear that bitter band and that happy tune is your step? Well, life could be so sweet on the sunny, sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with my blues on parade. Now I'm not afraid. Why, this rover crossed over, and if I never have a cent, oh, I'll be rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street. Thank you so much.
Dawn Lambeth Quartet. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for your support of Jazz Vespers, and we look forward to meeting with you over across the way in the fellowship hall. See you there.